the member states of COMESA as well on matters, cross-border infrastructure.
Thank you, V. Just yesterday, I was involved in a public discourse involving engineer colleagues from South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda. We had colleagues from, of course, Kenya, and we were having a conversation. Last 2 weeks, we were in Uganda in what we call Africa Engineering Week. So engineers in Africa have come together under a platform we call Federation of African Engineering Organizations. And we are sharing knowledge. We are exchanging ideas. Yesterday, I was chatting with colleagues in Zambia, advocating for the same issues we are doing here in Kenya. They were presenting their petition to the National Assembly on the same issue, saying, give 50% of maintenance opportunities of oil infrastructure to Zambian engineers. So we are saying we have forged a collaboration effort, our friends in Tanzania. And I have been privileged to carry out consultancy assignments in Djibouti, Ethiopia, Burundi. So we have built this common platform of African engineers. We share opportunities, and COMESA is a fantastic opportunity. We know, and every year I'm in Zambia, every time I'm in Ghana, I'm in Sierra Leone, we can see infrastructure happening. But the common denominator we have is that this infrastructure is being carried by foreign firms. We are saying, give African engineers opportunities to develop their continent, whether it's from Cape or from Cairo to Cape Town, whether it is from Niamey to Mombasa. We need to give opportunities to African engineers, because the unemployment rate for African engineers is big. And COMESA is a great platform. We have mutual recognition agreements between East African countries, where a Kenyan can go and work in Tanzania, can go to work in Rwanda. And that's why I'm saying I have consulted in East African countries. So through COMESA, we need to make sure that we build this family of engineers in developing cross-border infrastructure. And we have agreements in power, we have agreements in railways and stuff like that. We have trans-African at Continental infrastructure agreements on airports, railways and roads and stuff like that. So we need to continue encouraging inter-African trade through African Continental Free Trade Area. And COMESA is a very key contributor to this debate and conversation, and we should be very proud we are hosting this conversation right here in Nairobi this week.
All right. My final question to you, the certification of engineers in Kenya, does it align with the global engineering standards?
Well, a good question. In June, we were in Mexico City, Yucatan, and Kenya acceded to what we call Washington Accord. And this effort has been spearheaded by Engineers Board of Kenya, where I sit as a board member. And so as we speak today, engineers trained in this country, their skills can be recognized anywhere in the world. Because Washington Accord brings heavy industrialized nations like US, Russia, South Korea, Australia, UK, and so we should be very proud that this country, engineers trained in this country, their skills and expertise, they are recognized all over the world. And therefore, we have a process whereby you comply with international standards by submitting yourself to the registration process that we have locally through Engineers Board of Kenya. You are trained as an engineer, and when you are trained for 5 years, you are expected to have acquired what you call graduate attributes when you graduate. Then you go through a 3-year training minimum by statutes requirement, where you acquire what you call initial professional development. Then you submit your training and experience report and a project that you have done as an engineer. Then you're examined by peers through Engineers Board of Kenya. And when you pass professional interview examination, then you get registered as a professional engineer. The beauty of our recognition internationally through Washington Accord is that now we can have international mobility of engineers. That if I'm registered in Kenya, I can go to work in Russia, I can go to work in the US, I can go to work in the UK, and my credentials are internationally recognized. So we are not working as a silo, we are able to work across the globe, because I can tell you I've been involved in bringing together engineers in the US and Canada, and we have engineers from trained in this country working in the best platforms all over the world. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, you know, they're working for GE. We have engineers working in Germany, Siemens, the UK, Spain, all over the place. We have Kenyan engineers because they are very qualified, they're knowledgeable, they're experienced, and we have very bright engineers trained in this country.
All right. The final one, I know I mentioned the other one as the final one. Now this is the actual final one. What is the wider vision of IEK on matters Kenya's infrastructure?
Very good. Now, IEK, our role, we look at welfare of engineers, and we work towards advocacy. And we also equip our engineers through capacity building. We have developed enough instruments and standards of practice. Just the other day, we worked with the National Construction Authority and Council of Governors, COG, to develop site inspection manual. We have been involved in the development of the building code, in the development of the, adoption of structural Eurocodes. So as institutional engineers of Kenya, we are playing an active role in making sure that the infrastructure developed in this country meets local and international standards. We are training our engineers and equipping them, and we are proactively engaging with policymakers and telling them we need to develop infrastructure that meets standard. We need to look at road safety. We need to make sure that buildings and all the infrastructure that we develop is safe, it does not collapse. And that's why we are developing, we developed the site inspection handbook recently, and we have been involved in training and equipping our members with capacity building initiatives that expose them to the best global standards. And we bring very experienced trainers to be able to equip our engineers and pass on skills, so that as we are involved in the development of our infrastructure, we have world-class infrastructure developed in this country.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. Thank you for shedding light on all